beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. As a keen chess player, I am more than honored to be playing host to our friends from the other side of the Iron Curtain. I had hoped that for once the English chess team would have been able to give them a run for their money, but it was not to be. However, it has given us the chance to talk to people of mutual interests. In particular, an old friend of mine, the captain of their team, Mr. Andrei Koniev.
Thank you, Lord Bauer. It has given me great pleasure to visit your country once again. In fact, it would give me even greater pleasure if I could stay here forever. Sir, I know that this is abusing your hospitality, but I can think of no other way. I cannot return to my own country. I claim political asylum.
Gentlemen, the press reception is over. May I show you to the door, please?
If I might intrude on this game of Oriental snakes and ladders with affairs of state.
My dear Norton, trivia like the granting or withholding of political asylum can be dealt with by your underlings. You do have underlings, I think?
Yes, you must have.
My game, I think.
What? Now, look what you've done. You've impaired my concentration.
Conyers' government have reacted very strongly. They're demanding his immediate return. It would be expedient to hush the whole thing up and put him on the first plane back home.
Well, has any government ever quarreled with expediency?
Koniev is a friend of Lord Bowers. They've met several times over the years, corresponded. He's backing Koniev's application. As you know, Lord Bowers is a man of many friends, not only in the upper house, in the Commons, and the press.
You mean he'd kick up an unholy stink if they send Koniev back?
Quite. Problem is, do we risk an unholy stink, or do we jeopardize relations by granting him political asylum? Koniev's not only a master of chess.
During the Spanish Civil War, he was political advisor to the government forces. Preferring to see action, he wangled command of a battalion. That's when he first met Bauer.
You knew him?
I never met him, but I knew of him. He was a good soldier.
He went underground when the Germans invaded his country.
Yes, we'll compile our own potted biography, thank you. Shall Dimmock ring for the lift, or can you manage?
I can manage. Whichever way you look at it, he's got a jolly fine record.
Norton's right.
Bound to happen sooner or later, the law of averages.
It is a good record.
Some interesting stuff on Koniev in his own press a month or two ago. Get the relevant cuttings, Dimmock.
These are they.
Oh. You know, this problem strikes me as much more interesting and far more complex than our worthily dull Norton makes it sound. Here we have a chess player of international repute, sometime student, soldier, resistance fighter.
Strong-minded men have changed sides since the world began.
Yes, well, I suppose in that case we shake him warmly by the hand, offer him a cup of tea, and attempt to explain the laws of cricket.
Nothing in this one.
I can hear the rumblings of Lord Bauer's protest factory tooling up even now.
Do you think Bauer's implicated in some way?
Good heavens, no. Bauer's completely above suspicion. Besides, he's a member of most of my clubs.
What does that prove? Ah, here's something. The Minister of Culture. Ah, let's see.
Come on, don't dally. The language is only a debased version of Byzantine Latin, after all.
They have an annoying habit of using the Cyrillic alphabet for the Slav interpolations. However...
Confound you, Dimmock, you have one.
Thank you. Ah, a speech at a rally of culture and strength. The report runs to 6.5 columns, but the gist seems to be that Koniev is showing deviationist tendencies. And here in the party newspaper, an editorial comment.
Saying what?
Same thing. Doesn't seem to be any doubt that the party were gunning for him.
Personal attention of the Minister of Culture and the party hacks. It would seem that Koniev is regarded as quite an important man.
At the same time, one must keep an open mind on the kind as well as the degree.
Koniev were a very important agent. The interesting question then would be, what is his assignment?
Yes, that's their English language wavelength, I believe. If they do have anything to say about you, I really think we ought to hear it.
Thank you, John. Picasso.
Yes, he gave it to me.
Our Minister of Culture finds him degenerate. Bah! I had to turn to you, John.
I'm glad you did. I think I'm the man to help you.
But now you are Lord Bauer.
Oh, that's merely a life peerage. It gives me an opportunity to... Oh, well, I'll explain it to you some other time. Now, I hope you'll be comfortable here. I have permission for you to stay until your application for asylum is granted.
Until or if. What I have done is irrevocable, John. I cannot go back.
Well, you won't have to. You know, you're worrying unnecessarily. Now that you're in England, you're safe. Nothing can happen to you now. Ah, Laura, this is Andre Koniev, Miss Laura Bedford.
Miss Bedford.
How do you do? I'm Lord Barr's secretary.
And my dear friend, together we're going to show that England's doors are still open to men of principle, eh?
I hope so.
And how's that fiancé of yours, Laura?
Well, I'm afraid he's very depressed these days. His whole life was built round his research work.
It's a very unfortunate case, this. Dr. Pearson, you may have heard of him.
Oh, yes, I believe I have.
Dr. Pearson was one of our most distinguished younger scientists. He published a paper in some Swiss journal on fissile material.
Secret information.
Secret? Ah! How can science be conducted in secret? But our security organizations are not only stupid, they're utterly ruthless. Pearson was removed from his post without even the chance of defending himself.
Shocking.
I did all I could. But how could one fight men who have no faces?
Music for a special announcement. Since our last bulletin, there have been further developments regarding Andrei Konev. It was announced by TASS agency today that renegade Konev was stripped of his honor of cultural hero at the meeting of today's Council of Culture. The investigation has now shown that Konev has been the prey of the Anglo-US imperialists ever since his first visit to London in 1957. A meeting of the National Organization of Workers' Chess Clubs has denounced Konev as a reverse traitor and called for all measures necessary to secure his return and trial. The Deputy Premier has stated that all diplomatic measures possible have been taken to ensure that traitor Konev is returned to this country to face his comrades in a free and open trial. He also declared that in future all cultural delegations would be rigorously screened before leaving the country to ensure that only loyal and devoted party members would have the honor of representing the Deputy Premier.
Koniev!
Down, John, down!
Koniev, you're hurt.
No, I'm all right.
Laura, doctor, and the police.
You can't point to one single inconsistency about Koniev.
True? Absolutely true.
Now there's been an attempt on his life.
Unsuccessful.
Happily. His credentials couldn't be better.
Agreed. They couldn't.
Well then?
Just a little too good. Wouldn't you say, Dimmock?
The merest fraction.
Oh, yes. Too good. Too precisely good.
It smells of the most careful planning.
What about the attempt on his life? Surely that proves conclusively that he's genuine.
That's exactly what it's intended to prove.
If they wanted to kill him, they would have killed him, not grazed his arm. They'd employ experts, trained men who wouldn't miss.
No, the wound was intentional, the result of careful briefing. He was standing at the window.
Yeah, which he opened himself.
Didn't want to be cut by flying glass, I guess.
You expect me to believe he stood there at that window, hopefully waiting for someone to take a pot shot at him?
Ah, while they were listening to an English language broadcast.
That's it. The broadcast would have been used to key his move, to tell both Koniev and his supposed assassin when he would appear at the window.
Yeah, but he saved Lord Bowers' life.
Oh, come. That's just the extra artistic touch.
Now, someone was bound to rush to save him. The second shot fired wide.
Creates a splendid impression. Oh, yes, we're getting along nicely.
I think you've both gone mad.
No, the whole thing is
But
highly suspicious.
surely you can't
You
believe...
wanted advice, I believe.
Well, yes.
That's it.
I see. So Koniev is to be refused political asylum?
No, of course not. Make reassuring noises in Lord Bowers' direction and allow Koniev complete freedom.
But if you believe
The
that...
sooner, the better. So if you've no more pressing call on your time...
Good day to you.
Good day. Now, as soon as Koniev is sure that his cover story has been accepted, he'll try to make contact. We'll need a good man for this.
Bauer's introducing his new acquisition to the press this evening.
A good thought. A journalist. Someone Bauer knows and respects. And his job will be to try and find out who Koniev is trying to make contact with.
With whom Koniev is trying to make contact.
Oh, really, Dimmock. I can't stand pedants.
Darling, I'll try not to be late.
No.
Cheer up.
Sorry. Fed up, that's all.
I understand.
Do you?
Jim, I was speaking to Lord Bower the other day, and he said that
It's
he
no
does
use, Laura. It never was any use.
As far as security concerned, Dr. James Pearson is a bad risk. End of story, end of career.
Oh, don't say that. You've got to go on fighting. Get yourself reinstated.
I should have got a job. At least I'd have been paying for my own food and drink.
Oh, Jim, please.
Well, I can't go on being dependent on you, living here, hiding away from everything and everybody. I'm sorry, I can't help it.
Jim, I asked you to stay here for a few weeks until things sorted themselves out. You're not living on me or anybody else. Anyway, I'd do anything for you. You know that.
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
Oh, darling, I must go.
You'll be seeing Connie.
Yes, Lord Barr wants me to be there. I am sorry.
No, I don't mind. Did you know Connier wrote me a letter when I was sacked?
No.
Saying how sorry he was and so on. Well, now we're both victims. Remember me to him.
All right. What do you want me to say?
No, just mention my name. Say how sorry I am.
All right. Bye, darling. See
Bye.
you later.
Well, perhaps I could talk to him.
Yes, of course. Andre, come over here for a minute. I want you to meet my friend, Mr. Corrie of the Weekly Post. He gave me a lot of support on the Pearson case.
Mr. Corrie. How did it do, sir?
Oh, Mr. Corrie, have you met my secretary, Laura Bedford?
Yes, of course.
What do you think you can contribute to this country, Mr. Connier?
Oh, probably very little, Mrs. Ward.
Oh, come now, Mr. Connier. I'm sure you're being unduly modest.
It seems to me that England has always gained by offering sanctuary to able men, regardless of their creed.
Surely that rather depends on the creed, doesn't it?
How would you describe your political beliefs, Mr. Connier?
Well, you must understand, Mr. Corrie, that I'm still a Marxist. Though perhaps I should describe myself as a radical Marxist.
Isn't that a somewhat dangerous hybrid?
But not illegal in your country, I believe, Mrs. Ward.
No, we still believe rather misguidedly that the ill-informed minorities have a right to exist. What attracted you to our capitalist society, Mr. Connier? Our social services?
Isn't that rather an offensive suggestion?
No, Laura. It is a fair question. I certainly enjoy the material benefits of the West. But I came mainly because of the philosophical climate here, where, for instance, independent journals like the one you represent can flourish.
Even the freedom of our press is relative. We try to present the truth. Don't you fear you might find some difficulty in adjusting to our standards?
You're very much a product of the struggles of your own country. It must have been hard to abandon that.
I love my country, but the party has perverted the integrity of my people. The whole nation is riddled with double-think, I believe you call it.
Why did they try to assassinate you, Mr. Connier?
The party is a backward organism. The solutions which occur to it are often the cruel, childish ones of violence.
I understand they shot at Lord Bower as well. What could they have solved by his death? Surely a rather foolish tactical error on your government's part.
Names of those present tonight at Lord Bower's flat.
Simpson, journalist. Blake, journalist. Mrs. Ward, journalist. And Laura Bedford, Lord Bower's secretary.
Laura Bedford, wasn't she?
Yes, the girlfriend of the unfortunate Dr. Pearson.
I'll offer 10 to 1.
Don't be ridiculous, Dimmock. I'm not betting against my fancy. And out of that field, I fancy Laura Bedford.
Are you still receiving me?
Loud and clear, Corrie. Has Connier had any special contact with any of the other guests?
Not to my knowledge. It's all open and above board so far.
How friendly is he with Miss Bedford?
Miss Bedford?
Point of it. Corrie.
There's someone coming.
Mr. Corrie. Hardly a good place for a breath of air. Not very safe.
Oh, I don't think lightning strikes twice in the same place. Oh, would you care for a cigarette?
Oh, no. Oh, may I? Beautifully made. Beautiful. In my country, such delightful articles are rare. But shall we go in, just in case my countrymen have another shot, huh? Oh, your case.
Thank you.
Miss Bedford may not even know.
Whether she does or not is irrelevant. Let us assume that she is Koniev's contact, that wittingly or unwittingly, her task is to pass a message to Dr. Pearson.
They want him on the other side. That could be Koniev's job, to get Pearson out of the country. Of course, they could use his brains, but more important would be the propaganda angle. The hypocritical West preaching freedom, yet shutting Pearson up, while the East gives him every facility. Go ahead, Corrie.
Everyone's going home. Definitely no contact made as yet.
Connie, we have reason to believe that Laura Bedford may be the contact. Concentrate on her. We shall be recording everything you give us.
Will do. Good night.
Extraordinary reception we get from that device of Corrie's.
It's got a self-locking oscillator. It automatically locks onto our carrier wave.
Thank you. I was merely making a comment. I didn't want to lecture.
Coffee won't be long. Coffee.
Oh, thanks. Are you sure Koniev didn't say anything?
Darling, I told you last night there were always 3 other people about. It just didn't come up.
Well, you could have tried to get him on one side, couldn't you?
Not that important, is it?
I suppose not.
Laura Bedford speaking. Good morning, Lord Barr. Yes? Oh, I see. Could you hold on just a moment? Oh, Jim, it's Lord Barr. He seems to want me to go round there this morning.
Why?
Oh, something to do with Koniev's application. Oh, darling, I know we were going to
Oh,
spend...
no, that's
the day
all right,
together.
Laura.
I could say I can't.
Well, if it's only for the morning.
We'll have lunch somewhere. Yes, Lord Barr, I'll be around right away. Oh, I won't bother with coffee, but can I...
No, you carry on. I'll be all right.
You sure?
Yes, of course.
Oh, and I will remember to give Koniev your message.
Well, it's just politeness. He was very kind, you know.
Oh, I'll see to it. Bye.
Bye, darling.
Mr. Corrie.
Good morning, Miss Bedford.
Did you want to see me?
Well, I was hoping to talk to you about Lord Barr's work, but if you're going out...
I'm on my way there now. Can I give you a lift and we can talk on the way?
Well, perhaps I could join you later. Could I possibly use your phone first?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
I'll see you later then.
Good morning, Dr. Pearson. Remember me?
Oh, Corrie Weekly Post, aren't you?
Yes. Well, so here you are. Everyone's been wondering where you disappeared to.
Well, now you know. I hope you're satisfied.
I don't think we were unsympathetic to your case,
I
Doctor.
don't give a damn what you think, so would you mind leaving?
Well, all I want to know,
You don't
Dr.
print
Pearson...
4-letter words, do you?
No.
Then I've no statement to make.
And I know that his statement will command your full and sympathetic interest. I have the honor, etc.
You see how I make myself at home, Miss Bedford? I'm beginning to be seduced by a little of your elegant living.
Well, pleasant living conditions don't necessarily soften the moral fiber, you know.
Often helps, I feel. I'll go. Yes?
An invitation for Mr. Koniev.
A pity Mrs. Ward is not here. You see how I make myself useful even with one hand. You always drink Irish whiskey?
Yes, always.
I tried myself for the first time today. It is very good. Oh, Mr. Corrie, this might amuse you. It was delivered here about an hour ago by my own country's embassy.
So they're trying to persuade you to return.
All is forgiven, said the spider to the fly.
What do you make of it, Lord Barr?
A drink, Miss Bedford?
Oh, I'd love one. Tell me, how do you memorize a game of chess?
Oh, now, that is a very good point, because everybody has a different way of doing it.
Oh, you don't smoke, do you, Lord Barr?
No drink, but I don't proselytize. Please carry on.
Thank you.
Now, freedom for the individual includes freedom to do oneself harm within certain limits. The problem is to define those limits. Myself, I feel obliged to
Oh,
set
Dr.
my
Pearson asked to be remembered to you and to thank you for your letter.
Ah, yes, Dr. Pearson. Now, for some reason, that reminds me.
Then,
Oh, excuse me.
Yes, I'm sure. But surely the
Mr. Corey, would you mind very much if I asked you for a cigarette?
No, of course not.
Thank you.
Now, you see, every man has two loyalties.
A cigarette?
No, thank you.
Would you...
Oh.
This is so embarrassing.
I'm so sorry.
I'll be so happy when I get rid of this thing.
Over many of those things. I look back and I
Thank
find
you
that it
very
is
much.
extraordinary, you know, Mr. Connie, that I must have been what the Americans would have called a premature anti-fascist. But a dictatorship of the left is equally distasteful to me.
Would you excuse me a moment?
Yes, particularly a headland. It was so beautiful, the rocks tumbling down into the sea. Ah, Mr. Corey, I was just saying how lovely some parts of your island are.
But can I get you another drink?
Well, I've only just started mine, and so has Miss Bedford. John, why don't you show Mr. Corey that statement we are preparing? I think it might interest him.
Yes, of course. It's in my study, Mr. Connie, this way.
Oh, Mr. Corey, I'm terribly sorry. I ran off with your cigarette case.
Thank you.
Now, Conyers and I worked on this last night.
Now, this headland I was talking about, it's in one of your southwestern counties, I think.
Devon?
No, not Devon. Very like that. The Dorset, that's right. Now, what the devil was it called? Something Point.
Not Sterney Point, by any chance.
Sterney Point, that's right. How do you know?
Lord Barr takes holidays there from time to time. Perhaps you went with him.
No. It was in a bus with an embassy driver.
It's very isolated. Lord Barr seems to like the peace and quiet and the solitude.
The sort of place where a man can do a job undisturbed. Huh? Well, shall we go and see how the others are getting on? I know you want to be off, Miss Bedford.
Yes.
Yes, I'm afraid you may be right.
Shall we have it again?
Don't go back to the beginning. We don't want the how-do-you-dos. Not that Corrie got much else.
About here, actually.
Dr. Pearson asked to be remembered to you and to thank you for your letter.
Ah, yes, Dr. Pearson. You know, for some reason, that reminds me of... excuse me. Mr. Corey, would you mind very much if I asked you for a cigarette?
No, of course not.
A microtransmitter switches off automatically when it's picked up.
We've been very foolish. We've underestimated Comrade Conyers.
He's on to Corrie, all right.
Still, much more interesting.
Why don't we drive down to that place at Marlow and have lunch there? I like the river.
Did you get a chance to talk to Conyers?
He sent you his regards. Where shall we go this afternoon?
Oh, I know. Well, what did he say?
Oh,
Conyers.
oh, nothing. We were just talking.
Well, what did you talk about?
Jim, you're being very intense about all this.
Look, what did he say?
Oh, nothing really. He was just saying how beautiful some parts of England still are.
You sure that's all?
A place in Dorset called Sterney Point, which had impressed him. Funnily enough, Lord Barr's got a cottage there.
I see.
I wasn't flirting with him, I promise.
I'm sorry, darling.
Well, really, Jim, the way that you were...
Oh, it's just being cooped up here all the time, that's all.
Well, you can drive. That always relaxes you. Ready?
Laura, I don't think I'll come.
What?
I want to get away on my own for a while, you understand.
What do you mean?
Look, I just need a break. That's not asking too much, is it?
From me?
No, I just need a holiday, a few days on my own, that's all.
I see.
Laura, it's not you, truthfully.
Then what is it?
I can't tell you yet. Look, trust me, please.
Jim, is it Conyers? Is that it? You got some arrangement with him?
Laura,
Do you mean to say he's not a refugee at all? That he's come to get you over there?
they know what I'm worth. They'll
What
give me
about
everything
us?
I need.
I said, what about us?
All right. What about us? Supposing I stay here, do you expect to go on keeping me like some sort of lapdog?
Jim.
I've got to be somebody again in my own right.
And over there you'll be somebody, is that it?
Yes.
And what do they get out of it? Somebody they can use, is that it?
Oh, don't be so damn cheap.
Cheap. Using Lord Barr, what do you call that?
Laura, this is the only way we can ever live decently together.
So you expect me to join you?
Well, yes, when all the fuss has died down, wouldn't you?
No. Oh, Jim, I don't know. I can't think.
Laura, I love you, but I've got to be able to work.
Love. You run like a frightened rabbit, and you talk about love?
Laura, if you loved me...
Oh, I do, Jim. Wish I didn't.
I'm sorry to disturb you, Miss Bedford. I saw your car
Come in,
parked out.
Mr. Corrie.
Well, it's really Dr. Pearson I want to talk to.
He's not here.
I thought I'd find him here.
No.
It's very important. Do you think I could wait?
Oh, he won't be coming back. He's gone away on a holiday.
Holiday?
Yes.
Miss Bedford, if we can get Dr. Pearson's cooperation, I think we could reopen this case. Do you know where I could reach him?
I'm sorry, no.
It's extremely urgent that I get in touch with him.
I can't help you.
It's in his own interest, Miss Bedford.
He didn't tell me where he was going.
No, Dimmock. I sit here pulling strings, manipulating events. But occasionally, very occasionally, the strings go slack and one realizes one's opponent has a finger on them too. Koniev is such a man.
You're getting the feeling that you're being outmaneuvered.
I'm never outmaneuvered. Not in the long run.
If Pearson is already on the escape route, he'll be where? Not at an airport. They've already been effectively sealed off, and Koniev will anticipate that. That leaves the sea.
Transferred to a submarine.
Some isolated spot.
Koniev is an economical man. He chose Lord Bauer very carefully. Now, I recall a newspaper report of a statement that Bauer made last year on the international situation.
Do you? Most of them are all too easily forgotten.
This particular one was headed with a rather splendid photograph of him. Sometime mid-July, I think. June. Here we are, July the 18th. It's a close-up, of course, but those hills in the background...
Bauer interviewed in the garden of his cottage.
Chalk running east to west. Those are the Purbeck Hills, if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a 1-inch map of the district. We can pinpoint this, give Corrie a map reference. He'll find it. We'll try persuasion first, I think.
Corrie!
Dr. Pearson. Oh, may I come in? Thank you.
I don't know how you knew I was here.
Guesswork, Dr. Pearson. No one told me.
Well, you've had a wasted journey. I've nothing to say.
We want to help you, Dr. Pearson.
What do you mean?
We're prepared to take up your case again.
There's nothing to take up. I've been tried and found guilty by a group of men I've never even met. There's no appeal, you know that.
Well, not everyone thinks that's a satisfactory state of affairs, Doctor.
Well, that's the way it is in this happy democracy of ours.
It's not a police state. You're still free.
I'm not free to do my work.
You're free to fight.
Look, what do you want?
Well, I want to write about what's happening to you. I want to get questions asked in Parliament. I want pressure exerted. I want the minister to reopen your case.
Why? What's in this for you, Corrie?
I'm still a journalist, Doctor. And my paper happens to think that your case is worth fighting, don't you?
Oh, I don't know. I'm tired.
You've got to come back to London.
Oh, don't be a fool, Corrie. All this so-called individual liberty is all I want.
In some countries, you would have done what you were told and no arguments.
If you believe that great scientific advances are achieved by regimented little men who do what they're told, you'll believe anything.
Stop feeling so sorry for yourself.
Look, you've no right to come barging in here like this.
Come back to London with me, now.
Indeed, Mr. Corrie. Is that so?
Koniev, so you've arrived.
Are you surprised?
Oh, no, I knew you'd turn up. All right, Pearson, this is your last chance.
Mr. Corrie's trying to persuade me to go back to London with him.
I think this is probably a good idea.
Go back?
There has been a change of plan. Go and pack your bag.
Yes, but I can't go back now.
Pack your bag, Dr. Pearson.
I see your arm's better. That was a quick recovery, wasn't it?
Oh, that's nothing. A scratch.
I didn't realize you knew Dr. Pearson.
Others are interested in his case besides yourself, Mr. Corrie. Lord Bauer, for instance. Will you be driving Dr. Pearson back to London?
Well, how did you get here? I didn't hear a car arrive.
A rather slow train, a very slow bus, and then I walked. I enjoyed the last part. Are you ready, Dr. Pearson?
I'll go and turn my car around.
Oh, Mr. Corrie, just one thing. Our detecting unit must match the specifications of this set exactly.
Yes, comrade.
The set is then to be reassembled and returned to Corrie exactly as I described.
Corrie!
He was an agent. I had to deal with him for your own safety. You do want to get away, don't you, Dr. Pearson?
Yes, I've been pondering too, Dimmock. Just what is Pearson really worth to them?
We think we've been unduly hasty.
It's true that he was the center of the cause célèbre, which threw little credit on those idiots in security.
Just 5 months ago.
What do they expect to gain?
Simple brain grab.
I'm wondering if Pearson is really as valuable as he thinks he is.
Well, his work was very interesting. He has a fine brain.
But not unique.
No, extremely able scientist, no more.
Wasn't one of their own people, what was his name? Lvovsky, working on much the same lines?
I think we ought to warn Corrie to find some other reason for this interest in Pearson. Go ahead, Corrie. Yes, Corrie? It's not there.
Could have sworn that thing burnt.
It did.
Strange.
Oh, he's probably just out of range. He'll call again.
The other file, Lord Bauer.
Oh, thank you. Where's Konev? Isn't he back yet?
No, I haven't seen him.
Oh, this is most annoying. I went to a great deal of trouble to get this meeting with him, with the minister. It's absolutely pointless if Konev isn't there.
Shall I phone the minister and say we've been delayed?
No. Laura, you'd better drive me to Westminster and then come back and see if he's returned. Oh, leave a message telling him to wait for you here.
Right.
I suppose John Bauer couldn't be working with Konev? No, of course not. But what is behind this Pearson thing?
Some sort of peace front?
Well, in that case, it'd be more useful to them here. Besides, Pearson isn't disloyal in the exact sense. No. Well, the wretched thing's hiccuping that time.
Yeah. Yes, Corrie. Go ahead, Corrie.
The machine of his must be out of order.
We're not receiving you, Corrie. If you hear us, use alternative method of contact.
Self-locating area locked in. Shall I call them now?
Right. Cross-check with our detecting unit. Walham Green, what is the other place called?
Clapham Junction.
Wait. We're getting a positive response, comrade.
And the frequency is as we anticipated?
Exactly.
Good, that gives us our bearings. The intersection is here. That gives us the exact location.
Where is it?
In my mind.
Someone else should know.
I know. That is enough.
Something may happen to you. I only...
My instructions are to take the information back myself. Your part is over. Go.
Yes, comrade. The girl?
You are wasting your time and mine. I stay here. I do not go with you. Now get out. These people from the embassy, they're still trying to persuade me. I am sorry I am late for that meeting. We should go.
No,
But Lord Bauer is expecting me.
you're using him, imposing on his good nature.
I don't understand.
If Dr. Pearson wanted to go, well, I think he was wrong. But why do you have to lie and cheat?
Miss Bedford, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I'm finished with this charade. I'm going home.
Miss Bedford. Lord Bauer will be most upset. What will I tell him?
Oh, I'm sure you'll think of something.
I see. Where? Yes? You found what? Superintendent, was there a cigarette case on the body? I want it. Yes, immediately. Send a car. Oh, and I want the case fingerprinted. Thank you. Corrie's dead.
Damn.
He was found in his crashed car at Larch Corner in Surrey. The police are convinced it's a perfectly genuine accident.
No question of foul play, of course.
Not quite saying he was drunk, but they found a broken bottle of whiskey in the car.
What kind of whiskey?
Irish.
Corrie always drank Irish whiskey.
Yes. Every little detail correct.
I suddenly realized what was happening. What I was doing. That's why I came back here. To tell you that you were right. I'd made a mistake. And then I read that. Well-known journalist killed in car crash.
An accident?
An accident.
You think Koniev killed him?
Laura, I am responsible for that man's death. Oh, my God, what am I going to do?
You must tell Lord
Oh,
Bard.
I couldn't face him now.
Jim, you must.
Well, there were no fingerprints on it, except Corrie's.
And the set's faulty. Bleeps, but it doesn't transmit.
So Corrie must have been trying to call us.
Was he trying to tell us the name of the man who was going to kill him?
Probably, poor fellow.
Well, at least we stopped them getting Pearson out of the country.
Yes, but it's all been too easy. Koniev should have been cleverer than this.
I don't really see...
No, there's something here I don't like.
We arranged it. They contacted me a month ago and offered to get me out. They said Koniev knew you. They could use that. I went down to Stony Point and met Koniev.
Please
down
leave
there.
So this is what friendship means to you. An opportunity for advantage. And you even killed a man.
I know nothing of Corrie's death.
You deceived me, abused my trust.
I had no choice. They knew we were old friends, so I was ordered to use you. But now I really need your help.
If you think that I'll raise a finger
Listen to me. My job was to get Pearson out of here. I have failed. I cannot go back now. I shall surely be punished and probably killed. Please, don't send me back. Let me stay.
A car is waiting to take Mr. Koniev to the airport.
You chose your own way. Now you must answer to your masters.
Why so pale and wan, great thinker, prithee, why so pale? We surely have reason to congratulate ourselves.
The quick-witted professional outwitted by two amateurs.
Oh, come, Oldenshaw, we do get paid for our work.
The question is, are we worth our money?
Well, if we continue to forestall high-level agents of Koniev's caliber, we should be putting in for a rise.
Yes, if we did indeed forestall him. But what a botched job after such careful preparation. All those years, establishing Koniev in the eyes of the West as a liberal and non-conforming citizen, as a man likely to make a bold stand, a man likely to be in trouble with his own authorities. Are you with me, Dimmock?
I think I'd start getting rid of you.
Impossible.
I take it you're suggesting that Koniev and his associates built up his image with great care over a period of several years.
Yes, for one special job.
And he failed.
Apparently. It does not make sense to fit in with the Koniev pattern. He should have made monkeys of us all.
Perhaps he did.
This poorly disguised attempt to make off with Pearson is simply not in the same class as the rest of the operation.
You think Pearson should have been after a higher price?
Well, I put it to you. Supposing Koniev were not sent here to get hold of Pearson, suppose this were merely a facade behind which he achieved his real objective.
His real objective? To set the wheels of British counterintelligence in motion?
You're being too modest, Dimmock. He was trying to discover us.
What? Oh, God, Lord.
Pearson's escape was never meant to take place. Remember why we were brought in? The rumpus his government was making. It's obvious. We were to be enticed into revealing ourselves. But how?
The radio. Those bleeps we answered. They were taking cross bearings on us. We can change the frequencies, but...
Koniev knows where we are. From that, it's only a short step to knowing who we are and how we work. Then we're finished.
Not only us. He'll be one step away from discovering the whole defensive network. Will he have reported yet?
No. A man like Konyev will insist on reporting verbally to the highest of his superiors.
Yes, he wouldn't dare commit it to paper. Konyev will be flying in with the identity and function of room 17 in his head. And we've got 20 minutes before his plane crosses the frontier. What the hell can we do in 20 minutes?
Extension 9, please. I'm afraid we shall have to be rather hard on him.
My eyes are dry, Oldenshaw. I've not forgotten Corrie.
Come on. A brilliant man, you know. Admittedly a chess player, but then none of us is perfect. Oldenshaw here. I want a radio message sent in code green to 1st Intelligence Unit in Red Granary. What? Yes, I know they've broken that particular code. And of course they will be able to decipher our message. Sometimes we like the other side to know what we are talking about. So much more sporting, don't you think? Right. Now send this message in code green immediately.
Comrade. Your mission was successful?
Yes.
Completely?
Completely.
Congratulations, comrade. You've earned the grateful thanks of the party.
The bear hug at the airport, huh? A joke.
The personal gratitude of the Premier himself is no joke.
I'm sorry.
You have the information about this special department which has so hampered our activities?
I have their communicating frequencies, which we can monitor, and I know the building where their headquarters is located.
Where is it?
With respect, comrade, I cannot even tell you that. My instructions are to report to the minister himself.
You're quite right, comrade. We've waited a long time for this.
In 24 hours, this special department of theirs will be valueless.
Good. I've intercepted a message to British intelligence in the capital. It concerns you.
Me?
Double Agent Konyev bearing false information to gain private audience with top man.
What?
Konyev to assume leadership of revolutionary group. Power take over to begin immediately after Konyev assassinates top man during private interview.
It's lies. Lies. I am loyal. I have always been. It is a trick, this special department.
The Times, quoting the party newspaper, says, "We regret to announce the death of internationally famous chess champion Comrade Konyev. Konyev had been living in London, but had become disillusioned with the materialism and duplicity of the West. He was returning to his own beloved country when he suffered a fatal heart attack on the plane. Comrade Konyev will be accorded the honors due to a hero of culture. The Premier and the Minister of Culture will attend his funeral."
Remember that line of Pope's? A brave man struggling in the storms of fate?
What bosom beats not in his country's cause?
They beat not now, Dimmock, either of them.
Both right in their own cause?
Wish I thought either cause was a worthy one.